Yesterday, I thought the highlight of my day was going to be the happiest place on earth.
Yeah.
I thought seeing Mickey Mouse in the flesh was really going to
really just top the list.
Make my gratitude journal at the very top. Well, it probably still would based on what happened. Anyway, so I come home. I'm eating my quesadillas, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I couldn't be happier.
Alyssa's doing her nails on the couch.
You guys were watching a movie together because I think you're in a secret relationship that you won't tell me about.
Okay, it's not a secret relationship.
Oh, so it's out in the open. Yay! I'm so excited for you guys.
No, there's no relationship. I came down
friendship.
For a break. We're chilling on the couch watching TV.
Very close.
Not very close.
I walked in
on opposite sides of the couch.
After I walked in the room and you went, oh my gosh, sorry, I was looking for a battery, which I thought was a really weird.
Minding our own business. We're all just doing our own things, right? And what happens next?
Bang, boom, bang!
Just like that, actually.
That is what we heard. I couldn't.
Pretty spot
on.
We
hear a crackling of metal.
Yes.
That seemed not too far in the distance.
Relatively close, one might say.
Your first thought was our home just got battery rammed and people were about to come in and attack us.
That was my second thought.
Oh, what was your first thought?
My first thought, sounded like an explosion.
On the couch with you?
Shut up.
Sorry.
It sounded like an explosion.
Okay.
And so our neighbors that were lighting off fireworks the other day, I thought they were back at it, right?
Okay.
And maybe it had gone wrong.
You thought festivity was in the air.
Yeah.
You thought
at first, well, kind of. I thought it had gone wrong. And so I thought people attempted to have festivity in the air and then it just royally screwed up.
And instead of the firework going towards God, it went left and then hit our house.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was your first thought?
My first thought was someone just ran into our house/gate.
That was your first
Very
thought?
first thought. I was like, oh, someone just ran into our house.
Really?
You know, we're a little cautionary. We go towards the window. We're seeing if there's enemies afloat, land pirates, if they've docked our shores. And it wasn't land pirates.
That was my first thought. Because I ran upstairs to go get a hunting knife to protect ourselves.
Like, we can't really see what's going. Alyssa comes. She really thinks that her car has just been hit. We see her car wasn't hit. We see that our gate is opened, not in the normal method.
Not in the normal way. Actually, the complete opposite direction of the way it does open.
It had been battery rammed by Kia Optima. Looked like a 2016 model, if I had to guess.
Fairly recent.
Maybe 2017.
It had Apple CarPlay, so it was definitely
one of the newer
within
models.
The last 5 to 6 years.
And I get out there first. I jump the fence because they crashed into our gate, so I couldn't get out that way. And we have like a locked door system where. And they pushed the gate so far they jammed everything. So
I'll put in a picture of it, but it is like an iron gate and like a stone fence.
Yeah.
And like they hit it so hard that it is like lifting up out of the concrete. Like it's insane.
And it's a stone fence, but our fence didn't smoke weed. It's just it's made out of stone. Just in case you're confused.
But
Okay, so I'm out there and I see the women. It was women who hit our car.
There's two women.
Hit our house with their car, and they are like army crawling on the ground. One woman is holding another one's head.
I didn't see the army crawl. I got out there after you.
And initially, I didn't know, what happened. A neighbor had seen it, so they rushed over and were trying to help out. And I could tell by their slurred words and their random acts of...
And the fact that they couldn't stand up straight.
Initially I thought that was because they'd been a pretty doozy of a car
accident.
wreck.
Yeah.
But it was because they had taken, I'd assume, numerous shots.
You would think so.
I'd assume they partied earlier in the day.
I mean, it's a Sunday night.
It's a Sunday night.
As you do, you party hardy on a Sunday.
It's the Lord's Day. Sometimes
Sunday
you got to celebrate the Lord's Day. And so our neighbor comes out and I'm kind of
I come out. By the time I get out there, like you see them like getting out of the car. I hop the fence and the driver is laying on the ground on her side, just like limp. And then the passenger is like holding her and hysterically crying. And I legitimately thought the driver died. Like I thought I was gonna, as soon as I hopped the fence, I was gonna land and see a dead body.
So we walk out. The person that saw a neighbor, I was like, what happened? And he's like, I think they were drinking in their car and then just floored it and forgot brakes exist, and also didn't realize that wheels turn, so they just went straight into your home.
Straight into it. He's like, yeah, no. Oh, we got to get the Ring footage because saw like his front door. The Ring captured like the car speeding by,
and we just moved in. So when you move into a home, you usually want it to be standing for quite some time.
Yeah.
And
usually you never want anyone to run into your gate.
And
much
they
less
did.
2 months after living here.
So the paramedics come, the firefighters. Alyssa was horny beyond belief. Alyssa, you want to chime in?
About probably 20 neighbors.
I love firefighters.
There it is. Okay. She didn't deny. And they were big and strong. Alyssa's like, oh my gosh, I think I'm fainting. I'm like, don't make this about you. She's like, okay, Zach.
Attention.
She's like, I need mouth to mouth. I can't breathe. She's like, I was on fire. I'm like,
mouth to mouth.
they're like, you were inside, right?
I need chest compressions. I need
chest compressions and play with my areolas. Alyssa, I'm just saying what you said. Also, don't report me to HR. Okay, everybody's coming. The cops come, and these girls are just so belligerently drunk. And
it's like when we say belligerent, like they were just dial it to a 10.
And the one girl, the passenger, was just screaming from her friend. Her friend couldn't stand up because she'd consumed more alcohol than Nemo swims around
also,
in.
did you look inside the car? It looked like, I mean, I hope her legs are okay. I didn't see if she like was able to stand on her own, but like the driver console was about 3 feet up from where it should have been.
So maybe she did break her leg.
Possibly.
I hope you didn't.
It was bad because
you're watching this.
That was the side that hit the stone fence. Yeah.
It was, I was more excited that they were okay than
that they were like awake and talking.
And then the other girl was just screaming at everyone like, you know what? We made a mistake, and we're owning up to it.
Yeah, okay. We might have fucked up a little, and we might be a little fucked up.
Yeah, she kept on repeating that.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't stop. And she's just like, let me see my friend. You're stealing her. And everybody's like, she's in the ambulance.
Like, literally,
just let her go to the hospital.
Strapped to the stretcher. And she's like, where are you taking her? They're like, Sherman Oaks Hospital. And they go, she's like, okay, Sherman Hawks Hospital.
At one point, when she was screaming, like, where are you taking her? I just want to be like, use your context clues. Have ambulances with lights on gone anywhere else?
Yeah. And then, like, she stands
I really don't
up.
think her friend was hurt, though.
I think she might have broken her wrist because she, like, her wrist looked a little limp. And she's
floppy.
like, she's like, I can't, like, feel my hand. But, like, the passenger is, like, fighting the paramedics, like she's like, let me hug her. And the paramedic's like, sit your ass down. She's like, you don't need to cuss at me. And he's like, well, you're being an idiot.
But why can I not hug her? Because why can't I hug her? Just sit down. I just want to hug her. No, you don't care. I know you don't. No, you don't have to curse at me. Well, you're being an idiot.
Under my breath, I'm like, you don't need to run into our home. So you did it.
And then she's like, the cops are like, talking to like the cops and the neighbors are talking to her and they're like where are you guys coming from, where were you going? She's like, okay, we just left the club and we were headed home. And they go, oh my god, shut up, just don't say literally anything else than we were coming from the club.
Yeah, couldn't have been more annoying, and just kept talking and screaming and talking.
Dude, when the cop asked her, he was like, what's your name? And she goes, ba 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 ba, says her birthday and the place that she was born.
I immediately pulled out my phone, went to Instagram, found her immediately, found the friend that hit the house because we needed to get their information.
She
for
kept
insurance.
screaming her name.
Yeah.
And then just really turned.
And then I
into
screenshotted
sleuths.
all of the videos of them taking shots at the club.
Dude.
If they're like, we weren't drunk, we were just being silly.
Within an hour or like the hour before they hit our gate, it's like them at the club. They're cheersing shots. They're sipping like fish bowls. And they still, like, if you don't know what a fish bowl is, like that's enough to like knock out.
I checked before the podcast, and they still haven't taken down the videos.
It's insane.
You would think. I mean, of course, your blood alcohol levels probably enough incrimination, but you would think that you would take down those videos. Yeah, but we got to meet our neighbors. I think that was great. Everybody
was the
seemed
best
nice.
part. I do feel like, I mean, obviously it's so stupid to like drive drunk, and there's so many options nowadays, like like Lyft and Uber.
I had gotten home they hit exactly where I pulled into.
And that was one other thing.
And they're going fast.
Luckily, there's nobody. Like, this is a popular neighborhood for people to walk around. There's a lot of kids, a lot of dogs and stuff. Like, nobody was out on the street.
Like, you my dog. Like, if you out there, like, I don't want you getting hurt.
And luckily, you pull up far enough in the driveway where, like, it didn't hit your car. But
the Tacoma's okay.
I always park, like, right against the gate.
I would have rather them hit your car.
Like, my car would have been fucked. Like, it probably would have been totaled. Because that gate was like, our gate is now 6 feet into our driveway.
Mm-hmm. Our gate is social distancing from the street. So, yeah. But, you know, whatever happens, we talked to the cops, but it was kind of funny.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Jared was sitting there, and I like look in his eyes under his breath. He goes, "Man, we really need something to talk about on the podcast." you're a little happy.
I'm pretty sure I have a video where I say that. Like, you can hear it in the background.
That is the one toxic thing about relaying your lives to the public is when something bad happens, you're like, this sucks, but also you're like,
I'm kind of thankful for it.
I can talk about something, you know?
The point I was making before, I do feel like, obviously stupid and everything. I feel bad though, because like, I think Alyssa like overheard the cops or something. It was like, they said basically once she gets cleared like from the hospital, they're like arresting the driver and like charging her for driving under the influence.
Do we have to go to court?
What?
Do we have to go to court?
I don't think we have to.
Alyssa
Like,
just has
we
to.
didn't well, I guess we witnessed the aftermath. So maybe it depends on, I don't know how under the influence.
What do you think you're going to wear?
Probably just my blue suit.
Oh, I was going to go pinstripe.
Pinstripe.
Yeah.
Little.
I might do an accent.
Okay. No, pinstripe.
You think you can do this to my home? I don't know how to feel. Like, I feel empathetic, but I mean, I don't feel, because she really could have hurt someone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, anyone going to prison, I'm going to feel really bad about just because.
I feel bad in the sense that, like, that one, like, luckily she didn't hit or kill anyone.
But she definitely could. What if someone was walking their dog?
No, I know.
What if I was walking Handsome?
It's just crazy to think that one split-second decision of them, like, to get in the car and drive. Like, I don't know if the guy, like, our neighbors.
I just remembered. I should tell my mom.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if our neighbors are experts on it or whatnot, but they're like, yeah, she could probably get her license suspended for a very long time. They said up to 10 years. I don't know if that's completely factual, but like, think about how much that would ruin your life to lose your license for any amount of time, but like a decade.
And this podcast is brought to you by Uber. If you want to use our,
That would kind of be perfect.
Well, yeah, if she also was, if there was somebody there, she would be going to jail for manslaughter.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, this was like in the grand scheme of like getting into an accident.
We're also like the best house to hit.
Why?
Because I feel like other people would be like, make a way bigger deal.
Oh yeah,
it's probably a big deal, but we just all went out and like, all right.
Us three?
No.
Yeah,
Us
Zach
three?
goes, this wasn't even my favorite gate. That one was my favorite.
That's what he kept telling the cops.
The cops were like, well, what happened? I was like, well, we really hated this gate. We're about to get it completely removed anyway.
So it's kind of perfect.
Some of them got the joke and some of them were kind of just over it for the day, which I understand.
I get it. It was late.
It was a late day.
Luckily, like the three of us are super chill. And then even our landlord, like we had to call him and be like, hey, yeah, somebody just wrecked your gate. And he came over and he was like apologizing to us. He's like, I'm so sorry this happened. And it's like, you're the one that's gonna have to pay for this. Like,
we also can't control the drunk people in LA as much as we might try.
that was just like a crazy experience that you never think is gonna happen, you know?
Oh, I knew it was going to happen.
Did
I
you?
wrote it in my journal that morning.
Oh, you manifested this?
I didn't manifest it. And also, it's person-fested it in this climate. Okay?